at the very beginning are epic. They are big and they have characters that are trying to help us understand what it is to be in relationship with God. Can you find the very beginning? The first book in your Bible is called
Genesis.
Genesis. Can you find that in your script, in your Bible at the very beginning, the first pages?
Do you see my Bible?
Yep.
Look,
Perfect.
I even have a map in my Bible.
Here's what I want you to do. I want you to go on the internet and Google search an image that we could put on Instagram. I decided we're not going to build
Instagram?
Yeah, we're not going to build a scrapbook.
Since
We're
I
gonna
was a
build-
baby.
We're going to build an Instagram because that's what people do these days. Abraham goes on to have a son, and his son is named Isaac.
Isaac.
You're muted.
Isaac, you're right. Abraham has a son, Isaac. So one more person that goes under Abraham. Isaac has two sons. Their names are Jacob and Esau. There is our family so far. Two boys, they're twins. Do you guys know what a twin is? What's a
I know
twin?
what the twin.
What are twins, Ria?
Twins are like people who are born at the same.
These children, Jacob and Esau, they were growing up, and one was, it's funny because our Bible story tells us that one was larger than the other, and Esau, that was Esau, he liked to hunt things and be outside, and he had a lot of hair on his head and on his arms. He was really hairy. So
Hey, when I grow up, I'm gonna be really hairy.
you're going,
The brother that hunts. I'm gonna
Okay.
pretend this sausage is.
he liked to cook. And one of the things that tells us in our Bible story that you can read is that he was making a stew out of some of the meat that his brother was hunting. Okay, so the one with hairy arms, what was his name? It's an unusual
Look at the
name.
book. Look at the book.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it doesn't say it. Oh, well, his name is Esau. And the one that liked to stay home and make stew, what was his name? Yeah.
I think it was Isaac.
Oh, that was their dad. Their dad
Oh.
was named Isaac.
Oh,
You're so close, Ben. Good job.
Totally Esau, and the other one is Jacob.
Esau and Jacob. So there they are, even his baby. And Esau has hairy arms, which is so funny, I think. Jacob and Esau's mother had a dream. And she believed that her dream was telling her that Jacob, her favorite son that stayed home with her and made stews, was going to be more important than the older son Esau, because Esau was born first. Even though they're twins, Esau was born a few minutes before Jacob, and that he was destined for bigger things and chosen by God. But their father, Isaac, didn't know that. He liked the other son, Esau. That was his favorite, because they would go hunting together and they would sit around and take care of the animals together. And so Esau was his father Isaac's favorite son. The mom decided that she was going to trick her husband, Isaac, as he got older and he couldn't see anymore. So he was blind.
that would be Isaac.
Thank you, Ben. You're right. That would be Isaac, who is getting old and he has lost his sight. He
He
cannot
would
see
be
anymore.
like this.
So
I can't see. I can't see. I can't see.
no, he's kind of like this. Just taking it easy and resting in his old age. Ben, if Isaac cannot see, how do you think he can tell his two sons, Jacob and Esau, how can he tell the difference?
If he can actually look through sunglasses, He might see the children and know which one's which.
Okay, let's say that he doesn't have his sunglasses. How could he tell which sun is which?
That's hard.
That's hard. It is hard. What can he try to do better? He could,
Know who I know.
Listen, and he could actually do something.
right. So
Could actually hear the voice, and he could tell which one's which.
exactly. Okay, Rhea, what do you want to say?
Mine is that for that, I would say he could just touch their arm so he can find the difference because it's Harry and he's listening.
We know this because it's in our story, and the Bible has made a point to tell us these things. So Isaac, if he was being clever, could use his ears and he could hear the voices and his touch. And that's exactly what happens. The mom likes Jacob is her favorite son. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
And she sends her favorite son to go to Isaac just as he's getting older and just about almost ready to die. And he tricks his father Isaac into making a promise that Jacob would be the most important son and not Esau. It's a trick, and the way that the mom's name is Rebecca, just so you know. They put her.
I can see squiggles. See squiggles.
But remember,
Squiggles is
Isaac-
holding Isaac.
He is with Isaac, isn't he? They're tricking. Do you see Isaac's hand touching that furry
Okay,
part?
Tatu.
So Jacob made
You can't
I-
see me.
Isaac his favorite food and brought it to him and put some fur on his neck and around his back and on his arms. And when Jacob wanted to know if it was really Esau,
I've got a
Jacob might have
question.
used a different
I've got a
voice.
question about Isaac.
And they tricked him and fooled him into thinking it was Esau and not Jacob. Sounds crazy, doesn't it? Do you think
Yeah.
it was a good idea to trick their father?
I've got a
Remember-
question.
Okay, Jacob tricked his dad and he took something that belonged to Esau. When Esau found out, how do you think he might have felt?
Mad.
Or sad.
You're right, Logan. Esau was pretty angry, and his mom and Jacob's mom, Rebecca, knew that he was going to be angry. So she told Jacob to go away, that you would have to leave to be safe because your brother is pretty mad and we don't know what he's going to do. He could hit you. He could harm you. He could chase you all around. He might even
He
kill
could
you.
kill you.
He was that mad. So Jacob got out of town and he went to a place. And after traveling for a while, he got tired and took a break and ended up falling asleep. It's interesting that our Bible tells us all kinds of things, but part of this story, it tells us that when Jacob fell asleep, he used a rock for a pillow. So he's asleep. And then, of course, if you are sleeping in the wilderness on a rock, you're going to have crazy dreams. And in
Crazy dreams.
Jacob's crazy dream, he dreams that there is a giant ladder or escalator that goes all the way up to the sky into heaven. Giant escalator or ladder or staircase is part of Jacob's dream. And on this escalator are God's messengers. The angels are coming back and forth. And that's what Jacob is dreaming. After all of this dream, Jacob has a message that is God saying, Jacob, it's okay. You are mine, and the promise that your father made to you, I will make sure that you will be important,
Make
that
a
you
pic-
will have lots of children, and your children will have children, and all of them will be my children too. He knew that God was with him, even in this place out in the desert where nobody was around. His family wasn't there. He was all by himself, and he had a rock for a pillow. If God was going to be with him, he realized that he, in his heart, needed to be with God too.